Hello and welcome to the class. My name is Paddy. Today we're going to be talking about opinion essays and direct question essays for writing Task 2. If you have any questions after you watch this class, remember you can click on the chat icon which is at the top of your page here. Clicking on that icon will allow you to send us a message with any questions that you have. This is the first of 2 classes, and this class will last just over 20 minutes. First, we're going to analyse the 2 question types. Then we're going to talk about how to plan your essay and write your introduction. During this class, there will be some questions for you to answer. You can find these questions below the video. I will tell you when you need to answer the questions, and I'll give you about 10 to 15 seconds to do so. Okay, let's get started. So, what do we do when we're faced with a question in Task 2? First thing you should do is analyse the question. Highlight keywords and try to understand what the question's topic is. Brainstorm some ideas, some arguments or points to make in your essay. You don't have to use all of them, but use the time at the beginning to get as many ideas as possible. Then you're going to choose those ideas and decide on the structure of your essay. So let's look at a question and think about how we can analyze it. The first thing we should do is read through it and identify the keywords. The keywords are going to be things like nouns and noun phrases, verbs and verb phrases if they're important for the meaning of the sentence, useful adjectives and adverbs that are important for the meaning of the sentence. So let's have a look at the nouns. We have people say that everyone should be entitled to free healthcare and that it is the responsibility of governments to provide this to their people. The phrase, many people say that, is just a way of introducing the argument. Any useful verbs? Well, we have provide, so provide healthcare to their people. Adjectives, we have entitled to, so to have a right to something. There are no useful adverbs to highlight here. So these keywords tell me that it's about governments having a responsibility to give free healthcare to everyone. If we look at the question, it says, to what extent do you agree? So we must explain why we agree or disagree with the question statement. For an opinion essay, you must show a clear position. Okay? You need to decide if you agree, disagree, or maybe partially agree with the statement. Your essay is going to justify why you have chosen that position. Now let's look at a different question. This time, I'd like you to decide what are the keywords in this question. Look at question 1 below this video. Can you choose the 10 keywords in this question? Choose 10 keywords now. Okay, so the keywords in this question are recent technological developments, so new technology, mean that we can stay in touch, so communicate with, keep contact with people no matter, so it doesn't matter, it's not important where they are. So the location is not important because of new technology. Now the 2 questions. Well, the key word in the first one is why. You need to give a reason. Why is it important to keep in touch? And in the second question, it's asking whether face-to-face interaction is more or less important than communicating online? Remember, for this type of question, we need to give an answer to both of the two questions there. First one, why, asks us to give reasons why it's important to keep in touch with people. The second one, is face-to-face interaction more important than communicating online? This is asking for your opinion, so you need to explain why this is your opinion. So now that we've analysed the question, we've understood the topic, and we've understood what we have to do, now we should spend a few minutes brainstorming ideas to use as the main points in our essay. This essay question asks us, to what extent do you agree that everyone should be entitled to free healthcare? So I'm going to decide my opinion, and my opinion is that we should have free healthcare for everybody. So what I have to do now is brainstorm points I can make in favour of that. However, I should also think of some points against that argument. This is so I can use them as concessions or references to the other side of the argument because it makes my essay stronger. However, I will primarily be arguing in favour of the question statement. So let's think of some ideas I could use. Why is free healthcare for all a good argument? Well, I could say that health is the most important thing in our lives. It's essential, and so it should be a fundamental human right. I could say that it's unjust or not fair if only rich people have access to good quality healthcare. Poor people should as well, because poor health is not a choice. And I could also say that a healthy workforce benefits the country as a whole. If everybody around you is healthier, that makes your life better as well. Possible arguments against, well, I could use the financial economic argument. It costs a lot of money to the taxpayer. Or I could mention that in the public sector, doctors don't make as much money as in the private sector, so you won't get such a good quality of healthcare. So these arguments against, I'm going to include in my essay, but they're not going to be the main side of my argument. Now let's do the same thing with the direct question essay type. Here, we're going to have two separate paragraphs to deal with those two separate questions, and we need to brainstorm ideas for both paragraphs. First of all, why is it important to keep in touch with people? I'm going to think of reasons why keeping in touch is important, useful, essential, why it's a good thing. First of all, I think relationships are important. Humans are social animals. We need that connection. Another idea, being lonely can be very bad for your health. It can cause psychological problems or even physical problems. There are a few other ideas, but I like these, so I'm going to put these as my main points of my first paragraph. Next, the second question is kind of asking for my opinion. I need to choose which one is more important, or whether I agree that face-to-face interaction is more important than communicating online. So I'm going to think of all the positive and negative points about face-to-face interaction and then do the same for online interaction. Firstly, with face-to-face interaction, you have a shared environment which makes the conversation flow a little bit better, doesn't it? Secondly, you're able to make physical contact. Again, humans kind of need this social touch. You can hug, you can kiss, etc. People like that, especially within families. However, it's not always convenient to meet up in a physical place. Online interaction, well, the positive aspect is that you can speak with anyone in the world, no matter where they are. It's much more convenient. You can do it at any time of day, and you maybe don't need to get dressed to go outside. However, the conversation doesn't always flow so naturally. Online interaction is sometimes a little bit awkward. Now, all of these points are relevant for my essay, but I should choose which side I support. I think face-to-face interaction is more important than online interaction. So I could choose maybe 2 positive points and explain those. And then maybe I could choose a positive point about online interaction as a contrast, or I could use a negative point about face-to-face interaction and compare that with interacting online. So choose an opinion and support it with relevant points, but also reference the other side, make concessions to the other side. So I have analysed the question, I have brainstormed some ideas, and I've used those ideas to create a structure for my essay. Now I need to write an introduction. An introduction is the first paragraph of your essay. The purpose is to introduce the topic and explain what you are going to cover in the essay. What do you need to include in your introduction? Well, you need an opening sentence that gives an introduction to the topic. This sentence could be combined with or separate from 1 or 2 sentences that paraphrase the question. So the question also gives a general introductory sentence, so you can use this, but don't copy it, paraphrase it. Then you need to explain what the essay is going to talk about. If it's an opinion essay, it can also be very good to put your opinion in the introduction. You will also put it in the conclusion, but the introduction is a good place for it if you're then going to justify why you think this. Here is the question for our direct question essay. The first sentence gives us some background context. Recent technological developments mean we can stay in touch with people no matter where they are in the world. That is a great opening sentence to an introduction, but you can't copy it. You would need to paraphrase it, use your own language to rephrase this. These days, new technology allows us to phone, email, message, or even video call each other from anywhere in the world. Can you see how this is paraphrasing of the sentence in the question? Recent technological developments, new technology these days, means we can stay in touch with people, allow us to phone, email, or message, no matter where they are in the world, from anywhere in the world. So I've changed the language enough so that this is clearly my own. That would be a good opening sentence to your introduction. Okay, now let's think about how to do this for our opinion essay question. Many people say that everyone should be entitled to free healthcare and that it is the responsibility of governments to provide this to their people. To what extent do you agree? Let's paraphrase that opening sentence. Many people. What could we say as a paraphrase for many people? Look at the next question below this video and choose the option out of A, B, or C, which is a good paraphrasing of many people. The correct answer is C, a large number of people. Loads of people is too informal for an academic essay. Say. Which of these is a synonym for say? Look at the next question below this video and choose A, B, or C as a synonym for say. The correct answer is C, claim. In this context, claim would be a good paraphrasing of the word say. Should be entitled to. Look at the next question below this video and choose the option which is a synonym or paraphrasing of should be entitled to. The correct answer is A, has the right to. So if you have the right to something, then you should be entitled to that thing. Free healthcare. Look at the next question below this video and choose the option which is a good synonym of free healthcare. The correct answer is A, free medical care. As you can see, we've repeated the word free. Sometimes it's necessary to copy some words, but don't make it more than one or two. Responsibility. Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct synonym for responsibility. The correct answer is duty, B. Duty is a synonym of responsibility in this context. Finally, people. What could we say instead of people in this context? Look at the next question below this video and choose the correct option. The correct option is C, citizens. In this context, we're talking about people in a country, so citizens is a good synonym. So we have a large number of people claim, has the right to, free medical care, duty, and citizens. If we put this together, we can create an introduction sentence. A large number of people claim that every person has the right to free medical care and that it is a government's duty to supply this to their citizens. You can see a few more synonyms there. Instead of provide, we've got supply. Instead of everyone, we've got every person. So that sentence, paraphrasing the question, can come first, or it could come second after we introduce the topic in general. That's what we're going to do here. Here are the 4 sentences of my introduction. What I would like you to do is to put them into the correct order. So introduce the topic, paraphrase the question, explain what the essay's arguments are, and then give your opinion. Have a look at the next question below this video. Can you choose the correct order for A, B, C, and D? The correct order is C, A, B, D. C introduces the topic. Health is perhaps the most important priority for all humans. A nice, true statement. Then we paraphrase the question. A large number of people claim that every person has the right to free medical care and that it is a government's duty to supply this to their citizens. Then I'm going to present the arguments. While it could be argued that citizens should be responsible for paying for their own medical costs, it is my opinion that universal healthcare brings significant benefits to society and should be a requisite of every nation. So reading this introduction, I can see that this student is going to argue in favour of universal healthcare, but they will also mention the other side of the argument. This makes a good introduction. That is the end of class 1. Remember, if you have any questions, you can click on the chat icon at the top of your page to send us a message with any questions that you have. Now it's time to watch class 2 and then do the training and practice activities on this topic. Thank you for watching.